All right, kids, here we go. Back Monday the 18th, I think, second to last week of this particular cycle. We'll talk about what the new cycle is coming up next week. But we're going to start with some squat prep, which is essentially back stuff. We're going to do Jefferson curls, which we should be pretty familiar with, standing good mornings, Turkish step-ups, which is essentially we're doing a step-up holding a light dumbbell overhead and arching hard. So we're working on hip flexion and stabilizing through hip flexion. These are actually very similar to Stuart McGill's big 3 back exercises, but they're much more functional. And they should help us set up for that low bar squat. The big key with these is as we get to the bottom of the Jefferson curl, so the rounded part, or the fully flexed hip part, or as far as we go down on the good morning, or, and this is the difference with the Turkish sit-up, or Turkish step-up, when I put my foot on the box and I'm at that deep hip flexion, like that's the part we're gonna do. We're gonna take a big 90% belly breath, and then finish the movement, right? And this allows us to connect those ranges of motion with breathing, which is crucial to really protect the back. All right, so the next one we're going to do, then we move on to low bar back squats, right? We're going to use the new RPE system just to make it a little easier. This is a variable timing, starts out about 1:30 and goes to 2-minute intervals. We work from a couple sets of 4+ to a 3+ to like a 3 question mark, which should be a smaller jump, and then 3 sets where we can do 2+, so 2 or more. And those start to get onto the 2 minutes there. So there's 7 sets there. Starting off relatively light, getting relatively heavy. The big key is it's a low bar. So we're not letting those shins come forward, right? That's the key. Make sure they have it in the right spot. Make sure the thumbs and knees are on the same side of the bar, and make sure they start pushing their hips back with their, and then once they bend the knees, they continue to do it. So we get very little, if any, forward translation of the knees. Then we finish off with a muscle endurance workout. One flew over the cuckoo's nest, 30-20-10, front squat and push press, right? And pull-ups. So this should be limited to some degree by the number of reps. The weight's not super heavy, right? We're looking at something you can do 25+ with, so probably 30, so ideally 1 set. But we want to make the legs and the arms burn. That's the idea here. So your conditioning will be a little bit dialed back on this, and it will be made up for by that muscle endurance. So that should limit you. If we don't go heavy enough, that won't happen if we go too light. So you got to kind of be careful with that, right? Kind of get into them that, like always, that round of 20, especially because of the muscle endurance, should be a little light, a little slower conditioning-wise, pacing-wise than they want it to be, right? Think about being at a 2, and then a 3, and then a 4 for the last round. So basically, we move up as we go through, right? Pretty easy as far as nothing complicated day. Shouldn't be real tight in the timing. The cap for this workout then will be 12 minutes, which should leave them plenty of time if they've selected the correct stimulus. All right.